What?
I said I
You
feel like
giving pity points because she put herself at a lower rank?
it's a sign of intelligence.
How? How is that a sign of intelligence? Confusion. That's it. Well, I don't have
I wasn't
HD
planning
on.
to go to college. That wasn't like a goal of mine. My parents were like, well, you should apply to at least one college. And I was like, we'll never get in here. And then I went to Yale.
Oh, she's humble bragging. She got into Yale. Like, I got into Yale. No big deal.
Down and do
Intros.
Yeah, I'm Sade. I'm 24. Work in finance. I have a bachelor's degree. I went to Yale.
I'm Tyler. I'm 21.
Okay.
I'm a high
Obviously
school
a
graduate,
genius.
and I work in the Marine Corps.
Obviously.
I'm
He's
Kaylee.
obviously
I'm
dumb.
25.
Okay.
I'm a software developer. I went to Ohio University, and I have a
I'm just
bachelor's
kidding.
degree.
Maria.
He was not
I'm
kidding, he was
30 years
serious.
old. I have my PhD in cancer biology, and
This is
I work
very
in
specific.
biotech. In undergrad, I went to University of Florida.
Hi everybody, my name is Sean. I'm 27. I'm the director of social media for a company, and I also work for a digital ad agency. I got a double major in dance and cultural anthropology.
He's gonna be the he's gonna be the
everybody, I'm Ray.
what's the word? I can't think of words today. I'm so stupid. He's the not
Wow,
underdog.
what's the
It's the,
bro?
what's the word I'm looking for? Not underdog, but did you say wildflower? I think that's what it was. He's gonna be like the one, the surprising one that people think, oh, he's a social media influencer. He's not smart. He's gonna be real smart. Watch out.
Was degree in Harvard recently.
That man went to Harvard.
Oh, y'all are babies.
And then you wake up.
I know, that's what I was saying, is age a factor?
Yeah, it gives you like
Okay,
years
now
of
the question is,
experience.
are they gonna rank
to-
the
maybe
black
it's good to
girl
identify
higher
what
than the
intelligence
Asian
is.
dude?
I think.
Yeah, here we go. You
intelligence
asking the
is
right
better defined through
questions now.
adaptability
Well, which
and your
Asian dude?
problem
Because there's two Asian dudes. There's the Ray and then there's I forgot
The
his
one
name.
at the end who went
'Cause
to
he-
Harvard.
Yeah, I
and
see.
versus
She went
the
to
girl
Yale.
at the- yeah.
That's a good question. That's a good
skills
question.
more than it is your education. Obviously, like the education, the stuff you've been through puts a lot into play in it because it gives you more resources, more thoughts to draw from.
The formal education definitely helps, but I don't think it's in any way essential.
So what is the most essential?
So the most essential thing was probably be common sense.
Okay, what are
Yeah,
they
so for
ranking
me
specifically?
personally,
Intelligence, intellect,
Like IQ?
intelligence. Which I don't know how do you rank because there's different levels of. There's different types of intelligence, but that's what they're doing.
I think like IQ, if that's what they're talking about, is basically based on your ability to learn. It's not really necessarily like your knowledge. You know?
IQ,
So
I would say IQ is more knowledge than anything because every single IQ test is like, what do you know? Like if you know this or this or this. That's how I feel. We'll
usually
see.
the IQ tests that I remember are the ones that are like you don't have to know any prior knowledge. It's just like figure out what's going on in the
adaptivity.
situation. Yeah.
You talking about like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, that's why I consider. I mean, intelligence is different, but I found like people that can like analyze something and adapt to it. In my opinion, is like that's something that a lot of people can't do. Being able to adapt to situations.
Right, but it's a human superpower. Humans survive like everything.
We
Like,
survived for so long when we shouldn't have, and here we are making creating realities that don't make sense, like racism and different classes
Right.
of wealth. We have
Yo,
the
I
ability
seen
to.
that post.
Yeah.
That post tripped me the hell out.
It
where it was
tripped
like,
me out because we have literally the ability to make any
To be
reality,
anything.
and we
Yeah,
chose
we can be
racism
anything.
and class of wealth. Like,
right, what the fuck?
I would put him at the bottom only because when I was in school, all the other people with like the bright neon colors and stuff, they were typically the ones doing worse in classes. If we were ranking confidence,
this man
He's
is
below. He's at the bottom.
this
Oh my God.
man is the
Right off
guy
the
that
bat.
got bullied because he may be a little autistic, and now he's generalizing.
Yeah,
he got
he
bullied by
done-
someone that looked like that, and now he's saying people bright colors. Wait, what?
He joined the army for respect, not for like.
My man said
Got it.
people with bright colors did terrible in school. I've never heard that before. My man just created a new generalization. If you wear bright colors, you're an idiot.
I'd definitely put Sean at.
My whole life, I've kind of had to fight to be seen as intelligent. I think I'm so used to having to do that as a woman, to just like step up and be like, yep, I deserve to be here. My first job out of college, I was working at a law firm. Gentleman came up to me and said, hi,
How'd you
you
go
don't
from law
look
firm
like
to
somebody
technology?
that would work at a law firm. You look like somebody I'd go on spring break with. And I'm
Law
like,
firm's actually
what?
pretty easy to get
Obviously,
in.
out of everyone here, I've got the least formal education. I consider
The
myself
way he
intelligent. My
talks
mental
too is just
dedication-
like, it's so like robotic. Like there's
I think
no.
that's just because we're from Chicago.
You said what?
I said I think that's just Coolsweet from Chicago.
What do you mean?
I mean, he has a certain like twang in his voice, and I feel like it's
No, I'm
like,
not talking about his act. I'm talking about the way he speaks. It's very like I feel like there's no emotion behind it.
right, but I feel like because of that twang, he's being overcompensative to like.
Oh,
like,
that's what you think it is? You think he's overconfident? You think that's not how he really talks or acts?
Well, you know how people got the white voice in the hood, like when they get like an important phone call.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that's he using his white voice right now.
But he is white, so I know what you're saying though. I know what you're saying. I don't know. I think that's how I think he's just like. I think he might. I always say it like he may not be autistic, but I think he just like. He seems like very. He's not good with social interactions. From my
awkward, socially awkward.
Yeah.
But and my ability to adapt.
He reminds me a little bit of Ben Shapiro, but not like super Ben Shapiro. Like
right. I feel like everybody's judging it. Look at how everybody's standing and like looking at him. I feel like he's being judged really hard right now.
He's talking right now, so I guess they're all paying attention to him. So,
but look, everybody's got their arms like closed. That's like a kind of a thing, you know? They're like
maybe
problem solve. What I do in the Marine Corps, I'm a seabird defense specialist.
Right.
So I think that
by
virtue of what I do,
much.
that already requires some amount of intelligence.
Sorry, quick question.
She already really did judge.
Only certain people can do your job, or do you think anyone can do your job?
Only certain people. You have to take
What?
the
That's like damn near any job, though. That's not a good question because there's a lot of jobs that only certain people could do. Doctors, only certain people can be doctors. That's not a good question.
I feel like anybody can be. Well, not anybody can be anything. Like if you got your legs blown off, you obviously can't.
Technically, anybody can do anything.
But
it's hard to do everything. There's certain depending on your personality. Like a doctor, you have to be like somewhat patient and understanding, and not everyone's gonna have that quality.
But I feel like you can like push past that though. Like it might take you longer to become it. Like you might be like going down a 60-year career path for you, but like it was like a 10-year career path for somebody else. You know.
Yeah, but then you're not being who you are. If that's not who you are, then like you're becoming something that's not you to achieve something. I don't know.
But my point being though is that anybody.
Yeah, technically anybody can do any. Yeah, I mean if you want to go the technical route.
Military, that's not really how much you know, but how well you can learn information. And I got a 94 on that. It's not an amount of how much you study, how much you know. You're not going to really get better at learning. Does that make sense?
I strongly disagree with
I wasn't listening to a word here.
The idea that you can get better at learning is a pretty big signifier of intelligence. I'm very much dyslexic. I have ADHD and I'm on the autism spectrum. Dyslexia means that there's a big gap in comprehension. So I was scoring 99th percentile in certain areas and like 3rd percentile in others. I'll never be able to learn another language. I took Spanish for 12 years and I can still basically only order a burrito.
So I have a question. Why did you go to Yale and why did you go to Harvard?
She can order a burrito. I can't do that.
From China, and I'm a first generation immigrant as well and college student as well. My family always really stressed the importance of formal education. For me, that was something that I really strived for.
I wasn't planning to go to college. That wasn't like a goal of mine.
Why did you make that dramatic music too when she disagreed?
I
ain't like
never
that.
get in here. And then I went to Yale.
She gave a very good explanation.
Why don't you guys rank each other from 1 to 6, including yourself?
See, but like that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know that's the point of the game.
Do what you're doing.
I gotta go 1.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
See, she went
Asian.
4, 5, 6.
It went down.
I would rank you as a
I
6.
think she's more intelligent for like humbling herself.
What?
I said I feel
you
like
giving pity points because she put herself at a lower rank?
it's a sign of intelligence.
How? How is that a sign of intelligence?
Being like real with yourself, you know, like she didn't put herself
But
at
how
one.
do you know she's being real? She can
Well,
just be doing
okay,
that so
look.
she doesn't like make anyone angry. You can have those people that don't like conflict, so they put themselves so they don't make anyone angry. That's not a sign of intelligence.
So I think she gets unintelligence points for not being.
No, I'm not
enough
saying
to
she's
put
being.
herself
But
at
I don't think she should gain or lose anything for simply putting herself in a category.
I mean, it's just an opinion of mine. That's all.
I think it's a stupid opinion, but you're right. You're
That
right.
you're not intelligent. I also think that I don't place a lot of value on the military.
Oh, Jesus. So you say she don't like the cops or the military.
maybe that's why she put herself at a 3 so she can like humble herself to lose points later on for that.
What I'm about to say is gonna put me a little bit behind, so let me put myself in the middle. But then why not just put yourself at the 1 at that point if you know you're gonna do that?
Cause that come off as super arrogant. Like, I don't know.
No, full stop.
I'd probably do 1.
Now he's doing the 1.
See, I told you, boy.
Because she gave him a 1, so now he's gonna give her a 1. He don't truly believe that. He don't truly believe she's a 1. He's just doing that because she did it.
2.
Goddamn.
3.
See, you doing the same thing she does, but just flipping it. Nobody wants to be real no more. Everyone wants to be super nice.
They equally intelligent, bro. He about to do the same
He about
shit.
to do the same exact
He about
shit.
to completely annihilate somebody.
It's probably gonna be the same dude, number 6. He's about to get a double whammy.
4.
Look.
5.
Told
6.
you.
I'm sorry.
This episode.
Does anyone think they're like either end of the spectrum?
I'd say I'm 1, if nothing else, because I know what I'm about and I'm sure of that.
See? But I respect him if he truly, like, I don't agree with him, but I respect him if you truly believe you're number 1. Put yourself at number 1. It shouldn't matter what other people think about you. They're playing the safe game because they're trying to manipulate people. Oh, I'm super humble, but I'm also confident in myself. Like, nah, you know you won. Put yourself at 1.
Even if it is manipulative, though, they're not thinking about it as manipulative. So it's like,
it's probably like
I would say
subconsciously.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. I think 1, 2,
Right.
everybody's
3,
ranking her
4.
Damn near the Asian guy has either got a 1 or 2, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I think to her though, it's because he's an Asian guy.
I think it's because he's Asian. And also, he went to Harvard, and they put those two together.
They always put Harvard over Yale though.
Yeah, 100%. Even though I think they're like both.
5, 6.
Yeah. I think they're like,
It's hard for me to look past.
I'm gonna say the guy, the army guy. I say like depending on how they rank it at the end, he might be number 3. I think he's an intelligent person. I think he's more of a logical thinker than like an emotional or like social. But I think he probably is a very logical, forward
he's
thinking
not
guy.
an open-minded thinking person though, and I feel like to be intelligent, you
How
have
you know
to
he's
be
not open-minded? Is it the first
That's how
conversation?
Yeah, he was like, he said he like didn't think anybody can do what he does or whatever, you know.
He didn't say that. He said specific people. He said, "Do you think everyone can do your job or specific people? Everybody can't be in the army. It's just like it's not gonna happen. Not everyone can kill because you depending on where you go.
I guess
not everyone can kill.
technically, I can't join the army. I literally can't.
because you
join the
have
army.
sickle cell, so like you
Right,
can't.
but-
So
well, yeah, I guess that's true, but
I think the reason is because of how he's going about it. I think that's the reason why people don't like it. It's like when you go about things a certain, even if you may be right, when you go about it a certain way, people are gonna like oh you're super arrogant and stuff like that. That's just my opinion though.
The education part, going to college, I think you learn a lot, if nothing else emotionally, but I still think you're smart.
Thank you.
Sorry.
1, 2,
He gonna get them guts later on. Let me tell you. My boy, what was his name? Sam? I want to say Sam so badly. He looked like a Sam.
3,
he getting gutted
4, 5, 6.
Why they keep putting him
One,
at
There you go.
6?
Parents,
Because he's not intelligent. I'm
humble,
just kidding.
modest. 2, me,
He's intelligent.
PhD,
He's probably
cancer
smarter than
biology,
I am.
I don't know. I think I'm biased because I always like the people that always are last at things. I always like, but someone has to be last. Someone has to be last.
The black sheep.
Yeah, I like the black sheep of society. But someone has to be last. But he doesn't have to be last besides himself, I think he's been last every single time. Literally.
Yeah.
I work in a biotech company. We make COVID-19
He put himself
testing
at 1
kits,
and
stuff
balanced
like
it
that. And then 6. It has nothing to do with your background. I don't think you really have the highest EQ out of all of us. Tyler, he ranked last for me personally because the way he carries himself. He was ranking intelligence based on his point of view and not taking in other people's point of views and compiling results.
But isn't that the
really
point?
this came down to his
I feel
body
like that's the
language, his
point, is
demeanor,
that
the way he
you
carried
giving
himself,
your
the way he
opinion.
acted towards the group.
I would put 1, 2,
Uh-huh.
3,
Right.
5 and I'm 6.
Oh.
So the reason why I put you at number 1 is I think you have the highest, not only EQ score out of everybody.
What?
But
Wait, what was the EQ score? What is that? I wasn't paying attention. Wait, is that the determining factor? I thought who said that was a determining factor? Did they come up with that, or was that the people? I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
I think that's what they. I think specifically she came up with that determinant of emotional intelligence.
About that. Maybe they talked about it off screen.
I don't know.
Yourself, as well as being a PhD student, I think is just like a huge thing. And I put myself 6 because I feel like I might be the weakest in terms of actual IQ score. Hopefully, I can make it up as everything else. So I did put myself.
I wonder how they.
However, if it can't be me, I definitely think Tyler, unfortunately, his way of thinking is linear. And I think intelligence is almost linear like a sphere. It's a picture. And right now he's only coloring with one color.
I disagree. I think he's just very logical. He doesn't have the emotion behind it.
Thank you.
But how are they going to, like, what type of tests are they going to take?
Who got the most?
Sean A was pretty up there too.
I feel like you were definitely 3, right?
Yeah. I'm between Harvard and Yale.
All right. So that's how they put it.
I sort of expected to be ranked a little bit lower. At first glance and first interaction with me, it's hard to tell how intelligent I am. It's hard.
Also, I want to say I think it's one that's not talked about a lot. I think philosophical intelligence is very important too, in my personal opinion. Like I don't know. I like philosophy so much. It's just like constantly challenges people the way they think about things. But that's just me.
Like
is anyone upset?
Yeah, it doesn't get talked about a lot.
That I'm down here, like the guy himself.
See, it's just the way he. Like, look at the way he looks in the camera.
Like high up
he
on
just
me.
doesn't.
If I was in their shoes, I'd
look at he's too. There's no emotion there. It just feels so just empty.
I've also ranked myself among the lowest.
He could just be nervous too. That's another thing.
Do you feel like there might be a prejudice acting?
I feel like she could have been like 2 though.
Okay, I was thinking that
highly.
Wait, is this the whole? Wait, is this another video?
I think you probably are.
Because we only got like 2 minutes left.
I would feel weird placing you there and not acknowledging the dynamics in which we did so.
Okay, that's how they put it. There must be another video. Oh, we're now taking an IQ test.
Okay.
Okay.
He's doing it on his phone. Okay. He's doing it on his phone.
Hearing that I had to take an IQ test was definitely hard to hear.
Just have
Quantifying
laptops ready.
things for me in that realm is really hard because it gives you something really solid. Even if you don't buy into IQ tests, it still gives you a number at the end of the day, which is something you have to grapple with.
Like, if we're talking about IQ tests, I'm definitely putting myself at last. Like, in terms of like, it would depend. It also depends on how the
I
IQ
literally
test
thought
is.
when you said to open the computer, we're going to look at social media, that I didn't think an IQ test would be part of it.
Yeah, like
It was kind of expected.
like
We're being
those.
ranked by intelligence, an IQ test. It's not that far out the realm of possibility.
So number 1 is Raymond. Number 2 would be Kaylee. Number 3 will be Tyler. And number 4 would be...
What I tell you? What I say? Did I say he'd be number 3? What I say?
Yeah, I guess you did. Yeah.
Niggas put my nigga at number 6. Yeah, he awkward as hell.
Look at that strut, man. He like, yeah.
You better stop it.
Number 5 is Sean and number 6 is Maria.
Wow, the girl. Wow.
Oh, they technically tied, so it, like 3 or 4.
But still, number 6 from number 6 to number 3. What I say? What I say? I figured he was gonna be number 1. She was I honestly thought he was gonna be number 2, to tell the truth. But I knew he was gonna be number 3. I knew he was gonna be number 1.
Right.
But yeah.
I thought the rest of them could have been a toss up. I thought for sure though he was gonna be 4.
Well, you thought he was gonna be 4?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. I knew he was gonna be number 3. I knew just because based off, he's a logical thinker. It's just he doesn't have the emotion behind it. That's all it is. And people look at logical thinking as like, oh, you're too straightforward, you're too linear. But like,
okay,
we're talking about like the technology.
I was close-minded there, but I'm thinking like maybe it was just that he's intelligent, but he was taught the wrong things. Like he's like intelligent for the wrong like information.
Well, it depends on that too. Like when we're talking like the wrong things, like it like if we're talking about like I feel like he'd be the guy that's good at like surviving like how do I word this? It's like he's really good at like very straightforward thinking, like the technicality of things. Like, you know, like what did I say, Spock? Like, would you rather save 1,000 people or 10 people? You know, but what if those 10 people are people that you love? The logical thinking would be 1,000 people.
Populate the Earth.
Yeah, it'd be like 1,000 people is the logical thinking because it's more. But like emotionally, you want to save the 10 people that you love and care. And that's why I think he comes with the logical thinking, just not the emotion behind it. And sometimes you do need logical thinking, but sometimes you need emotional. It's like a balance.
10 people, I feel like that's enough to repopulate the planet. How many?
But it's 1,000 people though. It's 1,000 people.
You're killing more bad than good though. How? You know the 10 you got are good, and you can like.
10 is good. What are you trying to justify? I'm done talking.
You can manipulate 10 people. You can't manipulate 1,000.
You're an evil human being.
I think an IQ test tests something. I don't think it's intelligence. It's definitely testing something. IQ tests are now known to be flawed and like based.
I agree with her, but I feel like now since Buddy Boy's at number 3, she's trying to like change. Like I 100% agree with her. On the whole IQ test doesn't show the whole intelligence.
Her reason for
but her reasoning for saying it now is because Tyler is number 3 instead of being number 6.
It could also just be coincidence though, because they didn't know they were getting an intelligence test.
But it kind of, I mean, if you're trying to judge people based off, you know, intelligence, that the IQ test is the most. I mean, even though I don't agree with it, it's the most understanding.
On incorrect sample sizes, I have really severe dyslexia. There's 2 questions on that test that I automatically basically can't answer.
I'm sure if you studied for an IQ test, you would do a lot better. IQ tests are just one aspect or one way to measure intelligence. It's really on a spectrum what constitutes somebody as intelligent.
Before this, all I knew about IQ tests is that they existed, and the I stands for intelligence. I've never looked into IQ tests before. Coming here today, them saying the EQ, that was the first time I've ever heard that term in my life.
Coming back to intelligence,
me too, I've never heard of EQ.
It's not just your IQ, it's your EQ, it's your common sense, it's street smarts. Sure, it is some type of metric similar to an SAT and ACT score is a metric for getting into college, but there's more to that person than that test.
But earlier,
I'm actually excited I wasn't last because I thought I was going to be last, not going to lie. I think an IQ test is a good indicator to see how people handle pressure, but
something or watch a movie, and then we just talk about the movie. And you got points if you raise your hand and said something.
Definitely don't think it's the best metric. I've been exposed to tests like these probably more than most people here. That already gives me an unfair advantage.
This is my villain redemption arc in climbing up the ladders.
My villain, I like those dudes. But yeah, you can't judge intelligence just by one thing. But I knew he was gonna be number 3. I knew it. They doubted my boy. He came back with the victory.